Set Phasers, a highly illogical Star Trek podcast.
Well, hello there, Aki Bamis.
And hello there, Stevie Mans.
Been a while.
It's been a while. It's been a month of Sundays, and yet here we are once more.
Yes, I was going to say it's been 7 hours and 15 days.
That's solid. I was going to say it's been 2 weeks since you looked at me, but we don't need to clear the rights for all this stuff. Oops. Well, listen, we're back because there's Star Trek is back.
Yes, I've missed you. I mean, I've missed Star Trek. I've also missed you.
I've also missed you.
Sometimes the order has, I've missed you more than I missed Star Trek.
You know what? That is maybe the kindest thing anyone's ever said to me. Sometimes I miss you more than Star Trek. That should be like a Valentine's
greetings
Day
card. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Yes. Well, fortunately, we're a package deal. You and I get to see each other when there is Star Trek, and also sometimes when there's not. But life is what it is. Anyway, we're back because Lower Decks is back.
Mm-hmm.
And it's very exciting, this whole new season of Lower Decks. Okay, right. I've almost forgotten how to do the show. Today's stardate is stardate 331-828.2. And we're talking about Lower Decks Season 3. Can you believe Season 3? Season 3?
Mm-hmm.
I can't believe Lower Decks is 3 years old. The time just flies by.
Your baby's growing up.
Right before your eyes. If you blink, you'll miss it. Season 3, Episode 1, entitled Grounded. I don't know. I'm super excited. Should we got to do our preamble. Listen, this is a podcast. If this is the first time you're hearing our podcast, maybe live, maybe you've checked out some back episodes and now you're like, hey, what's up with these two nerds? This is what we do. We talk about Star Trek every day. Every day? Well, I try to talk about Star Trek every day.
Yeah.
Anyway, what else?
We have a Patreon.
Yes, Patreon.
Yes, we have a Patreon where you can join us and do more Trek things with us. We hang out. We have Zoom parties. We watch Star Trek together. You are able to get some behind-the-scenes access, and you can do that all for the starting sum of $5 a month at patreon.com/setphasers. Join us there.
Yes, and if you do that, you can see me very slowly dancing whenever Stevie talks about Patreon. And what else? That's it, man. Oh, I added into my notes that we're supposed to say that our episodes come out on YouTube, and I wrote brackets need Earl.
It's a good question. I don't think we have our. You can just have fun.
Something's on fire near me. Hold on a second. They drove past, so it's not me. Great. Okay, wonderful. Thumbs up. Well, without further ado, what's that?
You can find our YouTube somewhere. I think probably just go to our website and then there's a clicky button thing. So setphasers.com, and then you can find all of the things.
All you got to do is find the clicky button thing.
Clicky button thing.
Clicky button. Well, without further ado, shall we run it down?
Run it down?
Run it down.
It's time to run it down.
Can you run it down for me? Tell me what just happened. Can you run it down for me?
We sure can run it down for you. Okay, basically, the quick backstory is that at the end of last season, there was a whole thing with the Packleds, and their planet, their main city was blown up, and I think we knew that it was some sort of conspiracy to do a thing. But basically, the end of last season was Captain Freeman being arrested, hauled off by Starfleet officers for the crime of having sabotaged and blown up Pakled planet. And so we begin this season with the whole team is grounded. They're grounded on Earth, and Captain Freeman is on trial for blowing up Pakled planets. Oh God, we've already started with tongue tongue twisters have begun. Yes, big strong city, and we get an FNN news update from Sylvia Rand, and it's all about that, and also that hey, there's an incandescent verugament swarm, but who cares?
Mm-hmm. I assume it stands for Federation News Network.
That was my assumption.
Cool. That was it. That was all I wanted to add there.
and it was well added. And all Mariner's super upset and is throwing potted plants at all the screens in her father's house. Her father is Admiral Freeman, and he's like, you gotta trust in Starfleet. They're gonna exonerate your mother. But Mariner just doesn't believe it. She thinks they want someone to take the fall for this, and that it's gonna be her mom. Also, they get word from a friend of their father's, Admiral Les Buenamigo, who is tells them that the judge assigned this Myth Bin Tong, who's apparently a conservative planets' rights activist who obviously cares more about planets, I guess, than people. Is that the subtext there? And therefore is more likely to convict Captain Freeman than to acquit her. And so Mariner storms out and starts breaking things. And that's basically the beginning of the episode. And so the what happens next, we're at Boimler's family estate. They're vineyards, and there's a beautiful shot, very Picard-esque of him, you know, with his wine hat on. I don't know what you call hats. I don't know anything about hats.
A big sun hat thing.
He's got a big old sun hat.
And Picard wears and his brother wore. And
yeah, he's looking at grapes and he's stretching in the sunlight of a beautiful dusty field. And we find out that they actually make raisins there. They grow grapes, they pluck them, and then they let them sit out in the sun and wither into raisins, and that's what they make on their estate. And oh yeah, Boimler's being hit on by I guess this estate is full of super hot women dressed up like super hot women in the 90s, not like super hot women in the 24th century, but they're all hitting on him, and he is completely oblivious to all of their overtures. And Mariner shows up and she's like, we gotta go save my mother. And he's like, great, I want to get out of here. And he said, and she's worried that there's no way to exonerate her, but he's like, hey, actually, he does a repeat of every captain's log every day in his own voice on his pad, which is by his quarters on the ship. So they just need to get to the Cerritos, which they know is in dry dock, but they don't know where. But it only has a small team of engineers on it. And when they say, oh, engineers, perhaps Rutherford knows where. So they go to find Rutherford. And this is where we meet Rutherford and Tendi at Cisco's Creole Kitchen in New Orleans. Little DS9 reference there. See how I made reference French a la New Orleans. And they're like enjoying their time on Earth. They're considering going to see a London Kings game, which I think is a baseball team, and they're maybe going to go to historic Bozeman, which is like the Chekhov's gun of this episode. Because as soon as they mentioned historic Bozeman, I was like, we got to go to historic Bozeman. But then they see an update on how the trial is going, and the opening statements are happening, and apparently it looks like it's going poorly for Captain Freeman. And Mariner enters, and she's like, we need your help to save my mom. And they're like, great, we're down. And Tendy's like, you could just tell the court about Boimler's logs. And Mariner's like, no, they want a California class captain to take the fall. So they all get up, and they know how to get to the Cerritos. Like Rutherford knows where it is, but apparently you can only get there via a special encrypted transporter being guarded by one of Starfleet's oldest and most tenacious guards. And they go there, And they run in, they're going to knock him out and then use the special transporter to get straight to the Cerritos to find the patent. And anyway, they get in there and they find out that the only guard is an old guy named Carlton Dennis, just a sweet old man with a cane. And he's so, oh, hey, guys. And he offers them a tour. And they say, oh, great. And then they're all trying to knock him out, but they can't do it because he's such a sweet old man who's like, do you want tea or coffee or something? And then he's like,
butterscotch. Can I get you kids a butterscotch?
A butterscotch. I think he literally offers a butter, yes. Which Mariner takes. And then he's like, oh, it's so nice to have visitors because people normally come in here just to knock me out and use the encrypted transporter. You wouldn't be doing that, would you? And he pulls out a phaser. And they're like, no, we're so sorry. And he says, oh, don't cry. I'll make you some soup. So he makes soup. He doesn't believe in the charges. He in fact would even aid them in their desperate mission to clear Captain Freeman's name, but because of the aforementioned verugament swarm, the transporter won't work, and so he's like, I can't send you up in the transporter. You'd have to. The only way to get to that dry dock would be by a ship, and they're like, oh, well, there goes our plan. And the end of the episode. No, I'm lying, because then they mention Bozeman, Montana. He's like, oh yeah, they got a replica of the Phoenix. It only goes warp 1, but you can ride it. It's super fun. And that gives Mariner an idea, and she's like, if you can't beam us to the dry dock, beam us to Bozeman. Wherein enlists, they do a crazy plan. They steal the ship. There's a weirdo who gets on who's like scared of flying, I guess, scared of warp, named Gavin, yes. Gavin gets on with them. Goes up, he's screaming, but Zephram Cochrane shows up. This is a great throwback to First Contact. I thought that he says, I almost forgot, and takes out that weird disc that we thought when First Contact came out would be the future of how people stored music, a little mini disc, and puts on some rock and roll. Anyway, Rutherford hacks him. They warp to the dry dock, which is the naked Cerritos, no hull plating, and they get off there to do what they're going to do. Gavin is like, who apparently, having gone through that, decides he's going to be a solo explorer. He's Captain Gavin, and he takes the Phoenix and he flies off very ungainly into the stars. They get there, they find Boimler's logs. As we can imagine, they are terribly embarrassing. He has repeated everything the captain says, but he's also talked about
having gas and his purple hair dye.
Yeah, he wants desperately just to fart. No one knows what his true hair color is. I thought that was very funny because his hair is purple and there's no explanation for it other than raisins. Anyway, it doesn't seem like that's going to work. Mariner's like, fine, I guess it won't work. They're like, okay, great, we'll go back. They get on a shuttle, the Joshua Tree, and then Mariner's like, I just got to check on something, but she's hacked the shuttle and sent them back to Earth, and she's taking over the Cerritos because she's going to go. There was like a Klingon person who apparently is the arms dealer that Captain Freeman was involved with, and she's going to go find out who that Klingon is. And she does that. But then the other lower deckers, I've had so much trouble figuring out a word for the foursome. The lower deckers? Does that work?
I think so. Yeah.
Great. The other lower deckers trick the shuttle into going back on the ship, and there's a fight on the bridge with Mariner, and she's beating the crap out of all of them. Boimler, in fact, exclaims, why are you so good at fighting? But Rutherford manages to lock her out of the navigation so that she can't steal the ship, so that she can't ruin her Starfleet career. But then they're hailed by Starfleet security, and they're in the Verugament field, and the Verugament are flying onto the ship, and they're it's like a swarm that's gonna do it. They're doing it on the ship. They're all getting together and doing it.
Mm-hmm. A mass orgy? Is that what you're trying to say?
In so many words. There's a big glowing electrical Verugament slimy space squid toad slug orgy. And Tendi has a great idea to tell them, the security, that, hey, this is an experiment that we were supposed to do. Security comes on board, and they've collected some Verugament, and they're being shocked, and they're like moving eggs in and out of ovipositors and getting shocked. And security's like, great, I'm so glad you guys took such initiative. So who's the senior officer who said you could do this mission? And just as it seems like everything is going to fall apart, that's when Captain Freeman and her bridge crew come on deck and say, I did. And apparently, Mariner only needed to trust in Starfleet to get to the bottom of it. Apparently, a desperate mission was launched to while Freeman was in court to figure out what had happened. They found some connection between the Pakleds and like a data miner. I forget what it's called. Anyway, they found this person, an elite mission went there, a data fabricator, and helped set up the Packled conspiracy. And they found out the Packleds blew up their own planet in order to force the Federation to help them relocate to a planet with more raw materials. And so Captain Freeman is cleared of all charges, is back on deck. Everything is well. The securities leave. Mariner's like, I'm so glad you're alive. And Freeman's like, in fact, you're actually all in trouble for doing terrible, terrible things. I've only been out an hour and you've stolen the stupid ship, you idiots. So she has the lower deckers clean up the thing, which is full of slime and eggs and stuff from the orgy. And she and Admiral Freeman, I forget his first name, go and chew out Mariner, who still seems just completely, is Mariner about it. And so Captain Freeman realizes maybe they have been enabling Mariner. And since they don't have the heart to kick her out of Starfleet, they'll put someone else in total charge of Mariner's career. None other than Jack Ransom.
Is that worthy of a done or not?
I don't know. I mean, there's no real. We'll get to that. Anyway, yeah. So Ransom's in charge of her now, and that's how that goes. And the end of the episode is the lower deckers cleaning the bay and being like, it's good to be back, even though we're getting shocked and it's nasty. And they do check out Federation News Network to see that Captain Gavin had crashed and has been saved and is being dragged away by Starfleet security. And he screams into the camera, "You haven't seen the last of me." And that's the end of episode 1 of season 3 of Star Trek Lower Decks, entitled Grounded.
Mm-hmm.
You want to chat about that?
Yes, let's do.
I say, darling, let's do a quick chat about that.
Let's do.
What did you think? I felt that was I loved the episode, but I felt that I just thought that Freeman's exoneration thing was going to go on as part of a season arc. So I was a little
100%.
It was resolved so quickly.
It's a very Mike McMahon style joke. Is that like the big setup? All the previews made me think they're doing all this to clear Captain Freeman's name, and of course, no. Yeah, Starfleet's like, no. That's the kind of thing you would solve in an episode of Star Trek. It would be like, you're on trial, and then someone would give a great speech, and some evidence would be found by some other party. So I thought that was cool, but I agree. I was like, wow, I thought we were going to end on a to be continued or something. But we have like a different plot hook here, and it's more about, which is kind of interesting. It's more about Mariner and her impulsiveness, her obvious, like, she would be great in command if she gave a damn about being in command.
Because I do wonder, this is now season 3. We've established who the characters are.
Mm-hmm.
And now developing them, right?
Yeah.
So it's whether they as cartoon characters can be developed, or if we're just still, everyone's going to be the same character and it will work forever and ever, like The Simpsons,
right.
Or whether we'll do something else.
Yeah, I do feel like they're. Oh boy, did I just go through puberty? Yeah, I do feel like we're going to see some development that's my normal voice. This is how I normally talk. I do feel like we're going to see some character development from these characters. I think that's kind of the move here. It seems like they're really pushing. Do you feel like, okay, obviously tinfoil time for Occupy. As usual, I have an absurd theory. By season 4, Captain Mariner, I was going to say, do we hear wedding bells? But I don't know, the woo of a captain on deck, whatever.
I think we would be more likely by season 4 to see her as first officer.
Right. Like get Ransom out of there. Mariner's first officer on the ship.
Yeah, I don't know if she'd be, well, certainly not on the Cerritos.
Right. But there's got to be some, like, all the senior staff are gone and Mariner has to sit in the chair, which I guess has sort of happened already in different instances. Anyway, I like this progression. I do feel like Mariner is slowly, as an anti-hero, becoming better. But I want the whole thing with Ransom and her is, I think, is going to be very interesting.
Sexual tension.
Sexual tension, and also profound weird dislike of each other, but also like of each other.
A love story.
A love story. My love is like a storybook story. I have
I
another.
really thought you were going to go with Taylor Swift there.
You know, I'm a capricious person. I contain
Well, do
multitude.
you have your piano there? Go on. I would love to hear you do Taylor Swift.
No, it's behind me. It's not set up. I just got home yesterday. You want me to launch into a Taylor Swift song? Just turn sideways.
Just do a cappella. I just want to hear it.
No. I know this is a trap.
No.
It's a trap. I know a trap when I hear one. Go ahead, just sing some. I'm not recording or anything. Just go ahead and sing some Taylor Swift.
I would never.
Sing right into your microphone. Sing right.
I would never remix anything without your permission.
Look directly into the camera and sing Taylor Swift like you mean it. The other thing I thought was, because I do know that we're going to Deep Space Nine this season. That was a big reveal that we knew.
Yes.
There are 3 Deep Space Nine. I don't know if you have Easter eggs or anything like that.
I do have some, yes.
All right, so maybe let's go to Easter eggs and I'll mention my super nerdy Deep Space Nine stuff.
Sounds good. You know, do you remember how Easter eggs works? Okay.
Oh, yeah. Hold on. Let me just stretch.
Just took a pause there and I was like,
yeah, no, I stepped back and I was like, is there oh no, this is me. Okay. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Once again, welcome to Set Phasers SPNN, the Set Phasers News Network. I'm Aki Berbice, and we go directly now to Stevie Manns at the Easter egg deck. Stevie, how are you?
well, hi there, Aki. How you doing? Happy to be here as always. Good to see you. Good to see you. So we're here on the set of Lower Decks, as we usually are. We've got this behind-the-scenes access, and I have so much to tell. Why have I gone American? I have so much to tell you about.
Your American accent's really good.
Thank you so much. I should really do. I would love to be that person that does the travel stuff. Like,
yeah.
Chopper. Can I be Chopper Dave? I'd love to be Chopper Dave. Hi there, this is Chopper Dave coming to you live from just the middle of the sky here in Manhattan. It's a beautiful day. It's a beautiful day. We got some traffic here on the A9. The A9 is quite busy. If you were taking the A9 into work,
holy moly! That was very good. I'm very impressed. Holy shit, your Chopper Dave is pretty on point.
Oh, thank you very much.
Yeah, you definitely did. British roads, but I liked it. This is Chopper Dave taking the A9.
I should have gone I-95.
I-95. No, I like Chopper Dave is working in England.
Well, this is a complete aside, but sometimes we live in this little rural place in Hudson Valley, and someone has written this beautiful Facebook post, and it's really funny, about the Cornwall Garden Community Center, and it is hilarious. And I read it in character to my wife yesterday, and it was just too funny. Anyway, if as a bonus content, people, I'll read you.
That's the content we've been looking for.
Yeah, yes. Okay, who doesn't want that, right? Anyway,
I do. All right. Back to you, Stevie. Yeah,
back to you in the studio. We haven't gone there yet. So, of course, our Easter eggs. We have Boimler's vineyard, a nice callback to Picard and his vineyard. Somewhere in France, Chateau Picard. But of course, they make grapes, not wine. Rutherford sweater. I thought you would love that. I bet, in fact, you want to buy this, don't you?
Yeah, I do.
I know you do. However, fun fact, and this is sort of part. I'll tell you in news. There is some merchandise if you want to buy merchandise, but it's not sort of uniformy. Cisco's Creole Kitchen. Delightful. Did you know, I'm sure you did, that Cisco's father, Joseph, remained on Earth to run his very own restaurant? And I believe it was mentioned in the episode Homefront, a two-part episode wherein Captain Cisco returned to Earth to consult with Starfleet about a dastardly scheme to militarize the organization. Dastardly. Ketracel white hot sauce. Notice that. Of the condiments on the kitchen, the white hot sauce would stand out, and Deep Space Nine fans will recognize the name as the drug. And see, I did not know what this was about, because I'm not DS9 fan, but it was the drug that the Dominion, the central antagonist of the show, manufactured for their ultra-violent soldiers, the Jem'Hadar.
Correct.
Jem'Hadar soldiers were manufactured in labs for several years, eventually reaching the point where their systems would be unable to survive without the infusion of the narcotic. I can't say that.
That worked. I like it.
Methamphetamine. Is that right?
Yeah, we just say methamphetamine.
Clearly,
use your Dave voice. Methamphetamine.
Drugs. Anyways, that was a bit fun. Moving on, obviously Bozeman, Montana. Now, how fun was that? Who recognized, I'm sure you did, that James Cromwell, who played Zephyr Cochrane from First Contact, voiced his character?
Yeah, of course. It was so good.
I love that. Well, anyway, I'll come on to that. And there were some weird engineering tools. Did you see that when they go into the off-grid transporter? And I think that was a bit of a reference.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
The weird stuff that Dennis had repaired, or
yes, it was a deep cut because I think those tools might be recognized by the Deep Space Nine fans from the episode Hard Time. Did you notice that? You big nerd.
You know, I'm dancing. That's how much I love it.
Chief O'Brien is arrested and forced to virtually live out a lifelong prison sentence in his mind over the course of only a few minutes, which reminds me of when Picard got trapped in that weird thingy bob.
It's the same app, except that O'Brien doesn't get a wonderful life. He gets a terrible, terrible life.
Yeah.
Because he's O'Brien.
One of my fun things. So at the beginning, when there's you see the new like FNN and the news of Captain Freeman, across the screen we had a banner.
I knew you were gonna nail this.
Fun things. There was a 6-year-old Zach Dorn child who became the Stratagema Grandmaster, and this was probably my most fun. I think there was a news piece about Captain Jellicoe and the Zebulon sisters. They were banned, and of course we remember Captain Jellicoe. But one of the one I really enjoyed was Sonny Clemens, who you may remember from, I think it was, maybe it was season 1 or season 2 of Star Trek Next Generation. Sonny Clemens was the country star who was cryogenically frozen.
That's right.
They bring him back to life and he's, like, where is he? So obviously he's lived out his days back on Earth and has caused a riot at one of his concerts, which I thought was rather funny.
That's amazing. I did not catch that one. And I went back and looked at it and was like, Stevie's going to get this. But I did not know the Sonny Clemens didn't register. But now I remember that episode.
Yep. That was probably one of my favorites. He inspired a riot, which is quite funny. Yeah, sorry.
The actor that has the weird tooth, right? The guy who plays that.
Yeah. It was the Neutral Zone episode in 1988, which must have been the first season. So there you go. Yeah. One thing I thought was quite funny was Gavin. I have a feeling Gavin is going to go on to be some sort of like mud character. Why would they have him in there? There was no point to him being there other than just a little amusement. But I don't think Mike McMahon's a bit cleverer than that. So I think he will come back to be some sort of evil person at some point, and this will be, something the Lower Deckers fucked up earlier.
Another thing that comes to bite them in the ass. Because that's part of their. Definitely, Mike McMahon is setting something up there, I think.
Mm-hmm. For sure. I'm curious.
Gavin. Pirate Gavin.
Well, that's all that I have here from the set of the Lower Deckers here and up here in the sky. This is Chopper Dave, and we're sounding back to you in the studio.
Thank you, Chopper Dave, Stevie Mads. Okay. I'm not in the chopper, so can we get that turned off? Thank you. All right. Very good. I just would mention that part of I can't do that in this voice, that I thought those Deep Space Nine references are indicative of Mike McMahon's cleverness, that those are being woven in for what I don't know why we go to Deep Space Nine, but there's all these references to DS9, including, might I add, reference to the London Kings, which I haven't done the research, but I'm pretty sure is first created a 24th century baseball team, of which Cisco may mention because he's a big baseball fan in Deep Space Nine. So I just thought that was cool. The Ketracel White, those weird things that Miles had to make, and going to Cisco's Gumbo Kitchen, all that stuff is like, this is like, they're threading. It's really making my tinfoil go crazy. Okay. That's all for now. Let's go to the news.
Ooh, I love a bit of news.
News from around the galaxy.
Don't we love some news? Well, Star Trek fans, fear not. Star Trek Day is coming on September 8th.
Yes, it is.
And if you are in some sissies, and I will give you a link in the show notes, there are Delta AR portals, right?
What?
Which will be available to fans, and you will be able to unlock a variety of exciting 3D content. So I will put a link to that in the show notes, but that's very exciting and how fun. If you are in New York, it will be around Hudson Yards. So if you're free on September, I think it's possibly the 7th, so it might be before Star Trek Day, or on Star Trek Day. I forget. Right. I apologize, but yes, it's coming to you. Wrath of in fact, we could go together.
Wait, but I thought you were going without because it's happening while I'm on tour.
Oh fuck yes, I had to go. Yeah. Sorry, I went back to Wrath of Khan. I was going back to Star Trek Day.
Oh yeah, Star Trek Day is my travel day.
You are traveling.
That's that's literally when I leave it. So.
Oh well. So Wrath of Khan's 40th anniversary, we've been talking about this for a long time, is showing in cinemas the 4th, 5th, and 8th of September. I believe I'm going. I think it's also on the 7th too. I think I'm going on the 7th. It's Labor Day. You can see Fathom Events for more details. I will also put that link in the show notes for you because I am so good to you. Fun fact, so Lower Deckers, if you're a fan of Lower Decks, and if you are listening to this podcast, I would hope you are. Yeah. But Star Trek is releasing... They're doing quite a fun thing in association where they are releasing a T-shirt a week, in like a kind of companion T-shirt, if you will. So if you go to StarTrek.com, you can find there is the Lower Decks T-shirt collective announcement. And
you go too fast. Hold on, I'm literally going to StarTrek.com. That was a.
I'll just send you the link. I'll just send you the link.
No, I'm on it. I'm on it.
Okay. So the first one, so you can buy all of the T-shirts because they're dropping one a week, which is quite fun. And this one, the first week is it's a Bozeman, Montana T-shirt, so it's kind of it's a deep cut. It's a deep cut. The second one obviously will drop next week. You can buy all of them for $250, and I think that expires the 1st of September. Otherwise, you'll just have to see if you can get your hands on one. But yes, so that's quite a bit of fun news. Anyway, Aki, are you just having too much fun there with T-shirts?
I literally was just looking for how I could pay. I was hoping to pay by the time you were done talking.
We need to get the Chateau Picard wines.
We got so much to do. We
do. We have a lot of Trek merchandise to buy. Nerds. Anyway, that's all from the news.
Oh, so sorry. We should go to next time. I need to close this window.
Next time on Set Phasers.
That truly was news for me, and it's changed my life. Oh God. Okay, so next time we'll talk about episode 2 of season 3 of Star Trek Lower Decks, in which something dastardly and terrifying will happen. Thank you so much for listening to this episode. If you liked it, please rate. So please, give us a review on Apple Podcasts or something.
Please do. I don't think we've had a review for a while. We would love to hear how much you love our show, or if you don't, then don't bother. That's fine too.
Yeah. Also, it's all great. And we have a bajillion back episodes. We've covered every new Star Trek episode by episode to date. So that's Discovery, Picard, Lower Decks, and Strange New Worlds. We have episodes for each episode of those episodes. Did I say episodes? Starting to sound like a weird word. I'm going to stop saying episodes now. Stevie, anything to add?
I can't remember. You can probably follow us somewhere. Just go to setphasers.com and find where you want to follow us and engage. Please join our Patreon. We would love to have you and join our crew. We are probably due for a hangout soon. So
yes.
Please do join in, become one with us. We want you on our crew.
What? we want to on our crew. And of course, you can find us at patreon.com/setphasers. Oh wait, that's what you just said. So you can also find us on Facebook and Instagram at Set Phasers Podcast, where Stevie makes memes. Meme game strong, and I like them, and truly do. And that's it, I guess.
Yes. What do I say next? I think I say something like, computer and program, or
You say,
and I am Stevie Mans.
and dear listener, as far as you're concerned, I'm your mama now. And this has been Set Phasers, a highly illogical. I just realized we didn't do quotable moments, so actually that's perfect.
Oh yeah. No.
Wait, we can't go back.
I didn't have
Do
any.
we?
We can't
Okay,
go
well, that was my main one. That one's great. And Ransom saying, as far as you're concerned, I'm your mama now is amazing. And this has been Set Phasers, a highly illogical Star Trek podcast.
Computer and program.
Oh.